Chronicles of Acanis, the Forerunners. Chapter 3, The Smell of Death. The midday Sunasta beams across the seemingly bustling town of Zagahta, but the shadows it casts seems to have much darker intent to the eyes of our heroes. As the party traveled to the trade town of Zagahta as protectors of the Netherarm caravan, they answered a missive by the assistant mayor known as Alalawe Heartgaze to deal with a problem with Trogs in the nearby cave network in Strayals Den. Quickly, the party rid the caves of the Troglodytes and returned to Zagahta for their reward. On their way, they encountered a plucky elven alchemist by the name of Tela, who had, seemingly, been barred from the city after making accusations about the current mayor's mental state. With the aid of the party, Tela managed to return to her home and struck with a deal with them to covertly investigate the mayor's activities. This attempt was cut short when, moments after the party's arrival to the State House, Assistant Mayor Heartgaze found the mayor dead in his office chair. Through investigation and calling upon the aid of the local authorities, the party managed to piece together a precious few facts that seemed to indicate the mayor's death was not a natural or obvious method. Getting a tip from Tela, the party ventured into the Crimson Force Tavern, where a number of them were already staying, and after a few conversations with the locals, the trail of clues seems to indicate the next lead of Nova Redsky, the head barmaid. Alright, let's set the stage. So, you all gathered within the Crimson Force Tavern. The Gloamlings have just returned from their upstairs meeting, where they revealed that they found some interesting information in the documents they recovered. Olaf, Gorm, and Winter, you were enjoying small afternoon lunch of ales and steaks and rather jittery coffee, and enjoying your time as you were listening to the band, which started to play was playing rather fine music that sort of picked up and became a little bit of a show when Ari introduced himself and seemingly seemed to make friends with the bar tavern woman, or the bardic woman known as, because I promised Barry I would get him this stuff.
Yay!
The lead singer of the Radiant Dreamers band, named Scarlet Alatu. A human woman from Garia, which is the human kingdom on Quintus. After speaking with her, you mentioned some of the information that your party have acquired, and she told you that maybe the next person you should speak to would be Novi, who is the head barmaid for the Crimson Tavern. You finish up your conversation with Scarlet as she has to go back to singing soon, and rejoin your party, who are all now gathered by the bar stools.
And that was the Radiant Dreams that she's the lead singer for?
Radiant Dreamers.
Dreamers, okay. Sorry, I was like half writing down Scarlet's name at the same time.
No, it's fine. So, Olaf, you are watching as Winter gives Curiosity this curious coffee beverage that she's drinking. And you see Curiosity seems to kind of perk up and seems a little bit more jaunty than he was a second ago. And right as he finishes that sip, you watch as Ari approaches your party, seemingly with something on his mind.
I see this?
Indeed you do.
Am I supposed to do something?
It's up to you. I'm merely drawing the picture from your perspective.
Okay.
Norm just sits there staring at his mug.
Okay. I say, what's on your mind?
Oh, nothing too greatly. I am considering the options that have been given to me. It seems our next lead, or at least the one I would like to follow on, would be talking with the head waitress here, a young lady by the name of Novi. She knows the identity of our mysterious Miss L, as it were. But other than that, what have you found out?
I'm sorry, what is, out of character, what is the head waitress's name? Novi?
Yeah, Novi Red Sky.
And you said she knows somebody named L?
She knows the identity, the full name of the young lady that Demare was seen hanging with, and has connections with the other things we've been investigating. It's entirely possible this is the young lady that Demare continues to see, out of character.
So what, you want me to talk to her?
No, I just said that mostly out loud. Mostly for everybody to hear and gather ideas, figure out what's next. Well, the reason being is that with this being the only tavern in town, she's about to become very, very busy.
What do you mean?
3 to 4 in the afternoon, happy hour. Everybody wants to come get something to eat at this particular place, or it seems to be.
I'm pretty sure they're all already here.
And there's that.
Yeah, as Harmony says that, you all once again take note, and yeah, the bar is still, while people have been coming and going throughout your time here, the tables have never been unfull. As soon as one party leaves from their table, a new party enters in. There has been a steady flow of people coming in and out. As you are approaching about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll probably start slowing down soon. but as of now, it is a little crowded.
I turn to Ari with my cup of coffee. I'm like, hey, Ari, do you want to try some of this?
Ari will look at her with a smirk and say, "You found yourself something to drink, have you?"
It's called coffee. It's really, really good. You should try it.
I will have to decline on that. I'm still feeling the effects of the what was the name of that brandy or that wine? Crimson.
The Crimson Reserve wine.
Yeah, I'm still feeling some of the effects of the Crimson Reserve wine that was purchased for me just a little bit ago. And Ari also has his glass, which is probably about half full. He's only been sipping on it, but it's still it's still there.
Yeah, and now as you're looking at it, it's a thick, red-looking wine. Very tasty. Surprisingly to you, it has no lemon hint to it. It's got more of like a raspberry with a hint of something else you're not quite sure of. But it is very, very good. And it is strong though, and being of bardic schooling, you're careful and you know how much to drink, even though you're not quite sure what's in this and the content. But you can tell that given Scarlet's status, this is probably a very expensive wine that you've just been sharing with her.
Oh yes, I figure it's probably costs maybe at least 5 gold a cup, so it's the best stuff kind of thing.
Winter shrugs, turns around, and continues to sip on her coffee.
But I do thank you for the offer.
Oh dear, this is going to go horribly. Linda comes out of the necklace and says, "I'll try it."
Winter perks up, turns around, okay, and puts the cup towards her.
What's it look like when you come out of the thing?
How does that work?
You see a small light just dart out of the neck piece around Ari's neck, and and in a few meters in front of him, just this the figure of Vinda just seems to appear. It's strange. It's almost like the little fairies in The Legend of Zelda, that kind of ball look to them. It's kind of like that, and then it turns into the figure of Vinda.
With a little tiny cup in her hand. She scoops out some of the coffee and into that.
Gorm, as you see Vinda come down and take her tiny little mug and scoop it into the much larger, from her perspective, mug of Winter, you do notice the bartender kind of look over and like raises an eyebrow, and as this fairy just appears, he watches her for a second as she scoops up the coffee, gives you a look, and then sort of just shrugs and goes back to what he was doing.
Gorm sort of
So are we all dead yet?
Then Gorm gets
Working
up
on it.
and says, "Well, if no one needs me, I'm going to go take a nap." And then just walks off up to his room.
When are you going to be woken?
Oh, I can wake up on my own. But if you need me, don't worry about waking me. Yeah, and Gorm just walks off up to his room.
So, Vinda, do you like it?
Vinda, make a constitution check. You really haven't had anything like this before, and by nature, fairies are sort of energetic. You ever see Hoodwinked? That movie Hoodwinked?
No.
Okay, imagine a squirrel on coffee. You just start sort of like your wings start fluttering faster. You do a little twirl as you drink. You're feeling really, really fast right now. Like you could talk a mile a minute. And as far as the taste though, it's not bad. It's got a kind of creamy smoothness to it, with like this almost dark chocolatey flavor that just goes down your gullet. And even though it's rather warm in here, it still feels comforting going down your throat.
This is nice. Where does it come from? How do they make it? Zipping. So starting to zip around a little bit, not too far, but just kind of around people's heads.
Winter shrugs. I don't know. I just found it one day with my aunt and uncle.
Be careful, Vinda. You don't want to run into something.
What? And just as she runs into something.
Yeah, I figure like either a bar post or a cup or something.
Yeah, you misjudge the distance and you jump and fly right into one of the low-hanging lamps above you and just back down onto the deck. Or what would be a deck from your perspective, which is the bar tab.
Oof. Yeah, that might be a good idea. But I feel like I have to move.
Maybe coffee's not the best thing for you, Vinda.
Fidget.
As you're all having this conversation, you see the barkeeper. He looks over. He's cleaning off another mug, and he looks, and as this red-haired elven woman comes up to him, and he says, "Oi, Novi! Table 12 is needing their steak putting in there. You gonna do it anytime soon?" And you see Novi say, "Yes, grandfather. Give me a minute." She walks past you. She looks you all over though for a second and says, "Have you been helped? Do you need anything?"
We've been helped already, but thank you. But when you get a chance, we would like to talk with you for a moment. When you get a chance now.
Talk to me. About what? No one's been stealing tips again, okay? I hope... I just fixed that, and I don't want to have to deal with that again.
No. It's not about that. We were just investigating a few things, and one thing that came up is we would like to ask you if you know of a young lady who's works here, or at least used to. I'm not sure if she still works here, but she did in the past, and she was often seen with the mayor of Zagahta here, and apparently was one of his favorite waitresses. And I was just trying to locate her name.
The moment you mention the mayor and his lady friend, you see her eye go straight up, and she stands straighter. And you see she looks over all your faces, and then comes back to you, Ari. She says, "There's a room upstairs. It's reserved for VIP only. There's a sign. Go on up there. I'll meet you as soon as I finish with this table."
Thank you. I shall do that.
She nods to you and then hurries into the back room.
Was it just
Can
me,
we try to
or is
perceive
that strange?
what her attitude or body language was telling us?
Yes. That would be...
I'd also like to do that.
Yeah, go ahead and make an empathy test. Perception empathy. All of you notice that she becomes more interested in the conversation, but you can't really tell what her interest might be. Abinda Harmony, you notice that she becomes... that her interest is... she's not guarded or suspicious, but you see almost intrigue, as though maybe she wishes to learn something from you as well. So what are you all gonna do?
So I guess we're going. Are we going?
Yes, Vinda. That is the plan right now. Is at least for us and whoever wishes to go up there. But those who don't wish to go can stay. I won't force anyone to go, but there is something to learn here, and it would behoove us to figure out what that is.
I'll come.
Winter finishes her coffee, sets the mug down, and says, "Okay, I'll go too."
What are we doing? We're going to the VIP suite to meet her?
Yes.
Can I look around to see if anyone seems to be looking at us and observing, eavesdropping on our conversation?
Sure. Go ahead and make a searching test. Okay. No one seems particularly interested in you. Most of the people here, you can tell, are usually busy travelers, people who've traveled a long time and are looking for a place to rest. Others are people who are on their lunch break. You see that they're either covered in dust or just look like they've had a haggard day. But other than that, there doesn't seem to be anyone who's taking any particular note of your party. You just seem like you sort of fit in well with this crowd, and so there's no reason for anyone to really be suspicious of you.
I will come along as well.
All right. Who's the first up the stairs, would you guys say?
Fairy
Probably
with
Vinda.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it'd be Vinda.
So as you all push yourselves away from the bar counter, you just watch this little light fly up the stairs, and you all kind of just follow along. Vinda, looking around quickly, and just being excited and darting back between each of the rooms, you notice at the far end, and what looks to be like a little bit of a gap in doors in the hallway, there is a nicely adorned door with a little bit of tapestry on either side, and a clear sign that says VIP suite only. And you see that the door is slightly ajar.
Slightly ajar. Sounds like a fairy could fit in. Whee!
Turbo Fairy, go!
You go in and your form just lights up the somewhat dark interior. There's a large window, so there is light coming in. But the darker portions, you just, make any lantern lighting unnecessary. And as the rest of you start coming in, you don't even have to look for the doors. You can just see the familiar warm glow of your fairy friend just beaming in through the door, the cracked doorway. You all enter in to what seems to be a nice living room area. It's got there's some couches and some that are raised, some that are like a sort of a floor pillow couch area. There's a small, what looks to be like maybe it's a fireplace or a cooking area to one end, and then this large window leads to a balcony where there is a dining table, some nice, seemingly nice looking silverware, although not actually silver or anything precious, more just decorative silverware, as well as a bowl of fruit. You all have a minute to kind of explore the room and get comfortable where you like. And true to her word, a few minutes after you've all found a place, Novi enters in. She is, you can see she's got a towel in one hand, which she seems to be wiping her face down with. In the other hand, she's got a tall glass of water. And before anyone can say anything, she puts a hand up and she starts drinking her water. And she gets about halfway through it before she puts it down, takes a breath, and then finds a couch and sits. Alright, I've got 10 minutes. What do you want to know about Lalora?
Her name is Lalora?
That's the name I knew her by, Lalora.
Yes, we were wanting to know, she came in here, she started working here, a few months ago?
Yes, I believe grandfather hired her about 3 months ago. We needed some wait staff, and I think she was new to the area, and she needed a place to work.
Alright. And when did she and the mayor start hanging out with each other, so to say?
That has been in the last month. That's been a more recent development. It was interesting. He never noticed her before, and then one day he noticed her, and then he never stopped noticing her. She takes another glass of water. Yeah. After that, he would make sure, even if I served him or one of the other gals served him, he wouldn't take anything unless it was Lalora who served him. He always left her great tips. Most of us figured that, he was probably smitten with her, and, well, what good waitress wouldn't take advantage of that? We don't make that much around here, but, you know, take what you can get, and if, well, the mayor has sort of a lonely individual. He's never been married, never even had a girlfriend as far as I know. I don't know. There might have been some real feelings between them, but I don't really delve into Laura's personal life.
What kind of a worker was she?
She was a fairly good worker. She always got here on time. She worked her full shift, and then she would leave. She never really talked to anyone, never really mentioned anything. Kept herself mostly.
And are you expecting her in today?
You see, she looks at all of you again and looks off in the distance. Well, that depends. She's supposed to be working for the last 2 days and hasn't arrived.
That's interesting. Could you describe her real quick? Her actual physical features?
I mean, of course, it's pretty easily done. She's tall, darker skinned, black hair with golden strands weaved into it. She looked elven. I was never quite certain. Not Azamar. Definitely not Azamar. But maybe high elf? Or she could have been half elven. It was hard to tell, and, I wasn't really going to go up to her and be like, hey, what race are you? She always dressed well. That's the other thing. She always, even in uniform, she was always put together.
Curiosity looks like, why not ask her what race she was? But he doesn't say that. It just has to the look that it's on his face.
Besides that, I mean, look, grandfather is generous to everyone, and he was very kind. He's very kind to anyone who works for him, and he'll tell you she was one of our best workers. She was, in my opinion, a bit mediocre. She would only work 3 days out of the week. Again, like I said, she was always on time, and she always did her full shift, and the customers liked her, and she was always pleasant. But she did not... To me, someone who was in need of money, she didn't work as much as I would have thought someone should.
That's alright, that's alright. Your opinions on this matter quite a bit, because that's your impressions, and that's one of the things I'm trying to gather is your impressions of this young lady.
Oh, my impressions. Well, I didn't like her, to be honest.
And why not?
She was... Like I said, she was really good with the customers. To a point that I've never seen anyone be good with customers. I've lived here my whole life. Heck, I'm set to inherit this institution. I don't like the customers as much as she did. And she just... I don't know. The way the mayor never noticed her and then did, it bothered me. And, well... You see, she sort of trails off, sort of debating if she should continue.
Go ahead. Don't worry, it could be important to my investigation.
Make a persuasion check.
Those are low rolls.
exactly are you investigating? She kind of, you tell she is now scrutinizing you a little bit more than she did before. And even though she's talking to Ari, she continues to make occasional glances at the rest of your faces, and judging your demeanor based off that.
Well, I'm working with the assistant mayor on a task that we're trying to clear up a few questions here and there, and we're trying to make sure things are all on the up and up.
Up and up on what?
Well, to make sure things are going well for the mayor and everyone else and everything else with his office.
So, what does that have to do with his personal life?
Well, politicians, my dear, never really have personal lives, now do they?
I don't know. Do you see any politicians in this town?
There's the mayor.
He's our leader. He never went up to Quester and gave any votes or anything. We needed a mayor, so he's the mayor. A man couldn't have been a politician even if he tried.
You'd be surprised how much he'd be liked then at Questor. But to return back to your inquiry, we're trying to nail down a few things and try to make sure the mayor stays safe.
Why? You think she did something to him?